All right, a quick video here. Padres, they might be hooking up on a Dylan Cease trade. Ken Rosenthal here in The Athletic last night. The Dallas Morning News reported that the White Sox scouts have descended in droves upon Rangers camp this week. Multiple members of the White Sox front office have scouted the Padres in similar fashion, sources said. So Rosenthal connecting the Padres with the White Sox, a potential Dylan Cease deal. Obviously, the White Sox, why would they keep Dylan Cease? They're going to extend him long term. Like, they don't spend money really on any big guys. They don't for a big market team, Chicago. They don't spend like a big market team. So yeah, I mean, they're rebuilding. Go get a lot of talent back for Dylan Cease. Obviously, that's why the White Sox are looking to deal him. For the Padres, yeah, you'd like to have Dylan Cease on your roster for sure. I just wonder, coming off this spring especially, I mean, they already didn't want to trade Lesko. They didn't want to trade Thorpe. Didn't want to trade Snelling. Probably didn't want to trade Iriarte. Obviously, Burrito Vasquez, they view them as part of their future. Young guys that could be on the Major League roster. Burrito's going to be in the rotation, you would imagine. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. Obviously, Michael King is staying put for these next couple of years. Like, they don't want to trade their top young pitchers. And we know the White Sox would be asking for top young pitching talent. Ken Rosenthal, he did bring up, I believe, a Texas Rangers deal, like a potential Texas Rangers deal, and players that might have to go that way. Utility man Ezekiel Duran, pitching prospects Brock Porter and Jack Leiter. Obviously, Jack Leiter is a big name, but he's not really lived up to that potential. Porter is the Rangers' number 5 prospect, and Duran was a valuable piece with the Rangers last year, playing 6 different positions. So, what would that be for the Padres? Would that be Iriarte? Well, if it's a top 5 prospect, then it would be like Snelling going to the White Sox. Are the Padres willing to give up one of their top pitching talents when Cease is going to hit free agency after 2 seasons? We know the Padres are trying to go with the young guys right now. I think the way that this rotation looks, the young guys coming up, Iriarte is going to come up in 2024 is what it seems like. Same thing with Drew Thorpe. Those guys have had some pretty nasty stuff. The other guys that are in the rotation as well, I feel like the Padres are going to wait and see here. Maybe the price drops a little bit on Dylan Cease. Maybe they don't want to go get Dylan Cease when a bunch of other teams are competing for him, and maybe they just pop up in April when teams think that the White Sox aren't going to trade Cease and the Padres can just get him like that. I think at the deadline, you don't have to give up as much because it's less control that you would have for Dylan Cease. Right now, I just don't think that the Padres are, to be honest, the most desperate team to go get Dylan Cease. I think that they like the young talent that they have. And there's the Yankees. Garrett Cole has an MRI. We'll see what happens there. There are teams out there that maybe they don't want to go pay Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery long-term deal, but they're willing to give Dylan Cease. They're not going to give him. It's a 2-year deal. Acquire him. Sure, you give up talent, but who's going to be as good as Dylan Cease out of those guys that you give up? Maybe, but it's not a guarantee. Prospects are prospects. Someone is going to be willing to give it up. And Dylan Cease isn't making a bunch of money. I think $8 million this year, arbitration the next year. So that fits for the Padres. But again, I just question whether they're willing to give up that young talent, that part of their big future. They've already done that in the past. And I feel like maybe it's ownership, maybe it's Preller that's realizing maybe I shouldn't do this. But I feel like ownership is like, let's just try for once. Let's just try with these young guys. What did they just do this spring? Like, it looks pretty good. Let's try it. See what happens. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least it's, we're saving money here. We can go spend in free agency. And they haven't added. I know Dylan Cease is not out there for $8 million on the free agency market, but they're not adding starting pitchers for $8 million. They're not adding any starting pitchers on the free agent market. I think that they knew a long time ago that this is the group that they were going to go with. So we'll see. I don't think a Dylan Cease trade is going to be happening for the Padres. Definitely before opening day. Also, I wanted to hit on Graham Pauley. He is making the flight to Korea. So is Jackson Merrill, but I'm not going to expand on that too much right now. I'll have a show later today because I'm sure that there's going to be some news because it's the last day of spring and the roster will probably be out. I hope names that are going to be on the flight. The full list is not out, but Merrill's on there. We know that he's going to be starting in center field. I'd be shocked if he's not. Graham Pauley, Jeff Sanders of the UT, he just put out that Graham Pauley's name is on the bus list with players that are definitely going to Korea. He learned last night Jeremiah Estrada also Korea bound. And so congratulations to both of those guys. I mean, Graham Pauley deserves it. Maybe some would say he needs more time in the minor leagues, but when you didn't go get another bat, you don't have a lot of lefty bats. He could play a lot of different positions. He's one of your top prospects. He had a 936 OPS this spring, 333 average, 421 on base. I get it. It's 33 at bats. It's a small sample size. But look at the year that he had in the minor leagues last year. Like this guy has shown some stuff here in spring training. I feel like he could be starting at third base on opening day with Manny DHing. Especially with Manny DHing, I mean, this makes Paulie even more valuable because he can play third, but he can also do something that Eggy Rosario doesn't do, and that is play first. And he can play some corners in the outfield if you need him to. I think the Padres like the upside. They want to ride with this young talent, see what can happen, him and Merrill especially, and we'll see. And then Estrada, I don't think he's given up a run this spring, so talk about earning it. I mean, there you go. I get it's a smaller sample size as well, but there's talent there. And for the Korea series, they don't need the back end starters. Maybe Brito makes it and can pitch out of the bullpen, but if they're building up, maybe Brito Waldron pitch the exhibition games before the Dodgers series. Estrada makes the roster. Avila makes the roster. I don't know if Thorpe will make it. We'll see. I'm very interested in seeing if he does make it. I don't think he would though, because he's building up as a starter. So he just went 4 innings the other day. So I don't think he would make it. He doesn't have a ton of years in minor league baseball for sure. So maybe it's not really like Thorpe's fault. It's more just the experience that he has. And there's other guys that are more experienced than him that the Padres want to take, and they're okay with waiting on Thorpe and saving that service time, I guess. But Estrada, I could definitely see him making it over Waldron. Who would you rather have in a 1 inning spot? Matt Waldron, who what if he doesn't have that knuckleball and leaves some balls over the middle of the plate? He's not super big on velocity. Or would you rather have Estrada, who has been pitching as a reliever this spring, I believe, and he's on fire right now? Waldron's pitching really well as well, but I think that they want to keep Waldron on that starter track, not have him pitch out of the bullpen for an inning, a couple innings. Now, Michael King, it seems like he's going to pitch after Musgrove in Korea in that second game because he's pitching. He's been pitching on the same day as Musgrove. He's throwing on the backfield today. Musgrove starting in the final Cactus League game today. So that's they could go. I think I was saying the other day they could go all out with the bullpen after Darvish in game one, try to go win that against Glasnow and the Dodgers, and then they go Musgrove, King, maybe a reliever, a couple relievers after that, not the entire thing. But it's 2 games, so both teams are going. They're going to go all out. It's going to feel like a playoff series, to be honest. Like best of three. It's only 2 games, but you get what I'm saying. Like balls to the wall, and let's see who's going to win that series. So I'll have a show later today. News, obviously, about hopefully, I'm hoping about who is on that flight, and we'll discuss.